As projector, you are here to live differently than the big part of society. In this video today, I'm gonna guide you through 8 habits that you can do in order to flow in life as a projector. As you started your journey as a human design projector and you learned more about your design, you most likely learned pretty fast that you are here to approach life differently. We live in a generator society, and most likely you grew up in a family of generators or MGs. As we are now on our journey to embody our design as a projector, we often bump into resistance when it comes to living our strategy, living our authority, living our truest self. It's because from the earliest childhood on, we didn't have the chance to develop what it means to live as a projector and embody this confidently and clearly. Today I share with you 8 habits that have a huge impact for you as a projector when it comes to flow in life, to embody your unique gifts effortlessly and feeling successful and seen. Hello and welcome back. If you don't know me from other videos yet, my name is Shanne. I'm spiritual life and embodiment coach, and I help female leaders to tap into their rewilded self, reconnect with their true core of their being in order to guide themselves but also others into a desired reality. The first habit that is very popular, and I'm sure you already heard that often as a projector: take your pauses. In my home country, there's the saying, first work, then pleasure. So that means when there is work, you have to do the work first. And once this work is done, and when it's like either time to go home or when the task is over, then you can lean back, then you can start enjoying life. This does not work like this for projectors. We have a limited amount of ongoing energy. This is because our sacral center is not defined. That means we don't have constant access to life force energy. So when we try to keep up with that belief and with that way of doing that works for generators, we start overstepping our own boundaries all the time, and we start living in the not self. Little reminder here: in human design you can either live your true self, which is in alignment to your design, or you can live your not self, which is the conditioned role that you've been acting and that you've been adapting throughout your life in order to fit in. And the thing is that when we are living in that not self, we are creating bitterness. And I know that you don't want this to happen to you, neither to any other projectors, and this is why you are here today. Let's talk about the second habit that has a huge impact in order to flow as a projector. Spend time alone in nature. You can imagine yourself like a vessel. As a projector, you are a highly focused being. You can focus on a thing, on persons and relationships, or also systems very easily. When you are focusing, you absorb the other. You see the other thing, system, structure, whatever, and you can totally get into that. And the more open centers you have, the bigger vessel you are, and the more easily it is for you to lose yourself in others, to lose yourself in certain other structures and beliefs and behaviors. By spending time alone, and especially in nature, you can imagine yourself like being under a waterfall, and like all these layers and all these parts that does not belong to you start to be cleansed within your energetical body. Thanks to nature, you can ground and you can arrive in the present moment. This is important. As projectors, we have to do a lot of deconditioning work when we want to follow our design. The third habit is learning to say no. Ooh, yes, that's a big one. I already talked about the sacral center. The sacral center is basically here to also, spend us this life force energy, but the sacral center has the knowing of when enough is enough. as projector, we don't have this center defined. We don't have constant access to know if it's enough or not. And as already mentioned, we grew up in a generator society and we learn to overstep our boundaries. Most likely, we don't stop when enough is enough. So by learning to say no, by learning to set boundaries, you start honoring your design. At the same time, by saying no, you're also creating your boundaries, which creates your space. In this space, you can feel safe and you can be held. The more open centers and open channels you have in your design, the easier for you to overstep your boundaries. So be very aware of these boundaries and start setting them with love. Fill your own cup first. And this is exactly what it is all about by setting boundaries. By saying no to others, you say yes to yourself. And this is important in order to help others deeply and truly. The fourth habit is waiting confidently and patiently. As a projector, you do have your strategy, wait for the invitation, and I can imagine that this felt pretty disempowering the first time you got in contact with this strategy. I mean, many projectors that felt like they are dependent on others and they cannot go and reach their goals because they need to wait in order to be invited. This is also why I created a blog post about this topic, how to wait for the invitation as a projector confidently and in ease. So if this is something you're interested in, you find the link to the blog post in the description, and I'll probably also gonna make a video about this topic, and once this is done, you'll find the link in the description as well. If you want, you can also subscribe to my channel, so each time there's a new video, you get a notification, you see it on your home screen, and so you're never gonna miss anything that I'm posting. Number 5 is acknowledging yourself for what you do and what you don't do. One thing I had to understand for myself and also go through on my journey as a projector is that I had to realize that this acknowledgement does not have to come from others. For sure, it's super nice to be seen and acknowledged by your environment, but this can only happen when you acknowledge yourself first. Reflect on what you do, what you've done in the past, and what you achieved, not only on a material, outer world level, but much more on an internal level for the deconditioning process you've gone through. And also all these internal things and challenges you've overcome throughout the years. By building this self-confidence, you actually start radiating in that frequency of being an acknowledged projector. And this then again will amplify in the outer world. So the more you start acknowledging yourself for what you do, or also for what you do not do anymore, the more you get this recognition also from the outside. The sixth habit that will change your life as a projector is to start asking for help. I'm a very independent woman because I grew up with a mindset of I'm a woman, I'm strong, I can do everything by myself. Which is totally true, but being able to do it does not mean that I have to do it, especially as a projector. We actually just try to prove something if we want to do everything by our own. There are moments in life where we have to deal with something by ourselves. That we build this trust, that we build this confidence within us, but most of the time we do not need to do all of that by ourselves. And most of the time we do not see how beneficial it is for others to help. You know, there are many people out there that loves to help, but they don't get the chance because everyone is doing their own stuff in their own little world, not able or not ready to share and to say, hey, what's about doing this together? So by asking for support, by asking for help, you might also offer something beautiful to the other person. The seventh habit when it comes to flow as a projector is to redefine success. As a projector, you are meant to be successful. When you follow your true self, you're gonna be successful. But what does successful mean? I don't know about you, but for me, I see, or I saw at least, money. I see a ton of money and even more money. I see living in luxury. I see being the big deal when it comes to my niche. This very materialistic way of success. And this is not really what success is. What is behind that materialistic success? And very often it comes down to internal feelings like happiness, groundedness, calmness, balance, love, and gratitude. So if you want to be successful as a projector, ask yourself, what does success really looks like for you? Is it having $1 million in your hand? Or is it sitting next to a fireplace with the love of your life and a hot cacao in your hand? I'm not here to tell you how success has to look like for you, but when we start seeing behind these goals and these aims that we connect to success, we start to connect to the deep essence of success. And this is something that we can already access now. And it does not depend on the amount of money, the amount of clients that we have. It only depends on what we decide to cultivate within ourselves. Last but not least, the eighth habit, question your thoughts about performance. This is something that not only non-sacral beings should do, so also generators and NGs are welcome to do that. But especially for us as projectors, it's so important that we question ourselves. What do we think about performance? How have we been conditioned to perform? And also here, we connect again to that conditioning that we had from earliest childhood on, living in a generator family, living in a generator society of go for your dreams, do whatever needs in order to achieve. As projectors, we are sprinters. So that means that we can do a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time, but that also means that after that sprint, we need to rest, we need to recover, we need to lean back. But when we as a projector arrive at that point when we stop running, we see all the generators running, still running further, and we think that we have to do that as well. So check in with yourself. Does that resonate with you? Do you feel that when others continue running, you have to run as well? Check in with yourself. Where do you think that when you don't keep on running, when you don't keep on delivering that performance, you're not gonna be that loved as you could if you continue? These were the 8 habits that are gonna help you to create more flow in life as a projector and embody your unique gifts. One last thing I want to share with you is that when we as a projector do not live in our authentic self, when we don't follow our truest self and live in resistance to our design, we actually lose a lot of energy. Every time when we are in resistance, we use energy in order to fight against that. Whereas in flow, we don't create that resistance and we don't need that energy to fight against. When we lose all our energy on the way to try to fit in and fight against our design, we don't have that important energy left. At the same time, when we live our not self, we cannot live our true self. So by living against your profile, against your design, you are also cutting yourself off from your unique gifts. Yes, you are a projector, and yes, you have these very important gifts, But you cannot be a projector while living like a generator. There is a lot of deconditioning to do as a projector, and if you want to have support during this journey of deconditioning, finding back to the core of your being in order to become that leader of the new world that you are as a projector, I invite you to check out the possibilities, how to work with me, and I wish you now a lovely day. Take care of you and keep on going, keep on growing and experimenting. Let's rewild, honey.